I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video on Muslims and Scouting. And I'd like to take just a moment to summarize what Scouting is all about. You know, at the Boy Scouts of America, we believe ethics and caring and spirituality and respect for others are important characteristics to develop our young people. Many of these same values are found in the Quran. In fact, since the founding of the National Islamic Committee on Scouting, there are more Muslim youth in Scouting than ever before. The Boy Scouts of America is non-denominational. In fact, we work very hard to be an all-inclusive and diverse organization. We also believe that a boy should be reverent and have an abiding faith in a higher power. The Boy Scout programs prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetime by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Now, I think you'll agree that today, more than ever, we need our youth to mature into adults that make values-based decisions. There is much work to be done in preparing the youth of today to meet the challenges of tomorrow, and I hope you and your son or sons will join us in this great movement we call Scouting. Thank you very much.
Scouting is a worldwide youth movement with the stated aim of supporting young people in their physical, mental, and spiritual development so that they may play constructive roles in society. Scouting began in 1907 when Robert Baden-Powell, Lieutenant General in the British Army, held the first scouting encampment at Brownsea Island in England. Today, there are over 28 million registered scouts and 10 million registered adult leaders around the world from 155 different countries and territories. The World Organization of the Scout Movement, WOSM, describes Scouting as a voluntary, non-political educational movement for young people, open to all without distinction of origin, race, or creed, in accordance with the purpose, principles, and method conceived by the founder. The emphasis on learning by doing provides experiences that are a practical method of learning and building self-confidence. The bonding atmosphere, along with the emphasis on trustworthiness and personal honor, help to develop responsibility, character, self-reliance, self-confidence, reliability, and readiness, eventually leading to unity and leadership. Religion in Scouting is one of the most important aspects utilized and practiced differently and given different interpretations over the years. In contrast to the Christian-only Boys Brigade, which was started 2 decades earlier, Robert Baden-Powell founded the Scout movement as a youth organization, which was independent of any single faith or religion, yet still held that spirituality and a belief in a higher power were key to the development of young people.
Young men who are involved in Scouting have a great opportunity to take their values and principles that we talk about in theory in the Quran, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, to have faith and to follow it with this عَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, with deeds of righteousness. But there are many young men, they have a lot of energy. And unfortunately, their energies are not directed in the right way. Scouting gives a chance to have an organized and coordinated program that will put together their faith and deeds of righteousness, action, hard work, leadership skills, in order for them to be able to make not only themselves better young men, transitioning from boyhood to manhood, but also to build a better community through service and a better nation through their commitment. Inshallah, I encourage you all to be involved and engaged in Boy Scouts.
Scouting programs offer a variety of progressive and attractive activities, expanding the Scouts' horizon and bonding them even more together as a group. Age-appropriate activities and games provide an enjoyable way to develop communication skills. In an outdoor setting, they also provide contact with the natural environment. Cultivating a love and appreciation of the outdoors and outdoor activities is a key element. Primary activities include camping, woodcraft, aquatics, hiking, backpacking, and sports. All this is done with the scout having made an oath of honor.
On my honor, best to do my duty to God and to my country, to obey the Scout law, help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
The Scouting Oath works as a constant reminder for me to strive to serve the greater humanity, to make ethical and moral choices over my lifetimes by instilling in me the values of the Scout Oath and law. The Scout Law and Oath embody the joint values of the Scouting movement worldwide and bind all Scouting associations together. Values that are cherished and encouraged by the Islamic tradition as well as the Christian and Jewish traditions.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Scouts are dedicated to living 12 virtues on a daily basis. These 12 virtues are virtues stressed in Islam and taught to us by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Loyalty, trustworthiness, helpfulness, friendliness, courteousness, kindness, bravery, cleanliness, reverence, cheerfulness, thriftiness, and obedience.
So far, I know you guys have been involved in a lot of activities, and I would just like to reflect with you for a few moments on the 12th point of the Scout Law, which is that a Scout is reverent. As we know, when we recite the Scout Oath or the Scout Pledge, we make a promise to do our duty to God and our country and to obey the Scout Law. Duty to one's God for a Muslim means ibadah, worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have the opportunity to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our normal ibadat, like salah 5 times a day, or in case we're travelers, as we are here at summer camp, 3 times a day, and the other acts of worship. But we also have a chance to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by being His Khalifa, by being His vicegerent. And here, in this natural setting, we have that opportunity to be doubly blessed to do that.
The Islamic Religious Emblems program provides guidance to Muslim youth in achieving the spiritual pledges made in the Scout Oath and Law. Bismillah. The Bismillah program encourages Muslim Cub Scouts to advance in the knowledge and practice of Islamic living. In the name of God. This program helps Muslim Scouts fulfill the first part of the Scout promise. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God. As the Scout grows in the program, he becomes active in 4 areas of study and experience: Islamic faith, practice, brotherhood, and service. Allahu Akbar, God is great. The National Islamic Committee on Scouting established this program to recognize outstanding service by adults in the promotion of Scouting among Muslim youth.
Scout is reverent. It's one of the points of the Scout Law, and Scouting allows us as Muslims to fulfill some of our own requirements of reverence. And one of the ways that they do that is allowing us to go for our own religious emblem badge. It's called In the Name of Allah, Bismillah badge, a religious emblem. Part of the requirements of that, you have to do certain projects. You have to pray 5 times a day, lead some of those prayers, fasting in Ramadan. And once that they feel that you know Islam enough, you know your Islam well enough, they'll award you that badge. And that's the way that Scouting allows us to express our reverence as Muslims.
We are so happy and honored to have a Cub Scout troop pack and a Boy Scout troop here at the Adams Center. It's a wonderful program. It's something that it instills good citizenship, good leadership, good community service, and really honoring our duty to God through wonderful efforts of the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts at our masjid here at the Adams Center. Our mosque is again very happy. The community is very supportive of the Cub Scout events. It's something we encourage for all mosques to get involved with the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts and really participate and have the boys go through this wonderful program.
Boy Scout programs in our masajid, in our community or mosque, is a very important program. It's a program that helps young people to assert their identity as American as Muslim as well. I really call upon all Muslim communities to have strong scouting programs, as we know that our youth are our future, for we need to equip them with the knowledge of Islam and the civic duty as an American Muslim.
The accomplishments of the Muslim American scouting units were highlighted in many national and local newspapers, such as the Washington Post.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aman. I am 12 years old. I am a first-class scout. I have been camping for over 2 years. This is my second summer camp. The reason I enjoy camping is because it teaches helpful traits such as trustworthiness, responsibility, helpfulness. These traits are also spoken highly of in my religion of Islam. Another good thing about camping is my troop. My troop is a Muslim troop, Troop 114, which operates in an Islamic masjid. We hold weekly meetings, and every month we go camping overnight.
I'm second class scout. This is also my first summer camp I've been to, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a great honor to be here. I really enjoy the merit badges because it lets you have a lot of opportunities to take a lot of different stuff that you could never try anywhere else.
Working with the Boy Scouts of America has been a great experience for me. Every day in my experience taught me more about the scouting values and how relevant they are and identical to the values that my parents taught me as a Muslim youth. I would highly encourage all youth workers in the Islamic centers to invite the scouting professionals to their Islamic center so that they can learn more about scouting and how it can best serve their local youth.
Here you have an opportunity not only to gain the skills and the attitudes and the qualities that are very useful for life experience, but also to have it within an Islamic spirit, with programs also that encourage you to develop skills also that make you not only a good Boy Scout or a good human being, but above all, a good Muslim male or female. I encourage you to get involved. I encourage you to promote this beautiful idea, which really encourage many youth who have lots of time at their hands, and sometimes it's used in a negative way, to use it in a constructive manner, in an Islamic spirit, and also in the atmosphere of Islamic brotherhood and sisterhood. May Allah bless you all, and I hope you'll be more fortunate than me.
I know that there are many Muslims, maybe they might not want to admit it, but they raise issues about patriotism within the framework of the scouting program. And I would have to remind you of the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he lived in Mecca at a time when there were contradictions in the Meccan society, and as he left Mecca making his hijrah, he expressed within his seerah his love and commitment to Mecca and the highest ideals of Mecca, even though the Meccans themselves drove him out. It would be later that he would return to Mecca and restore it to those highest values, but he leaves for us the legacy that the love of homeland is the right of every Muslim. I live in America. I have the right to love America because it is my homeland. For many of these young people in the scouting program, America is their homeland, and they, just as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, have the obligation to raise it to its highest ideals.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.